Good day, Hollywood Times viewers. Judy Shields here. Joining us today is a successful entrepreneur who has done TV, radio, and print ads for the Tractor Supply Company and numerous other companies, and in his 60s became an actor who has been in three of Taylor Sheridan's, and we all know that name, TV shows. Welcome, Mr. Larry Wells.
Thank you, Judy.
How goes it?
Good, good.
Where are you dialing in from?
I'm dialing in from Fort Worth, Texas, Cowtown.
Cowtown. And Bo's got herself a cowboy. What's the weather down there like?
Cold but sunny and pretty. About 35 degrees, but not a cloud in the sky and plenty of sun.
Are you having any of this crazy weather that all the rest of the states having and country?
We've had it this last week and weekend, and it's finally just most of the ice is gone, and we're pretty much back to normal now.
Oh my goodness. And here in LA, we're having 80-degree weather.
Oh wow. No, we don't have that luck. No.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us here at the Hollywood Times. Let's first talk about the 35 years building your successful gate automation business.
Well, it's been a fun run, a fun business, and back then I was a home builder, building custom homes, and I've always had a security gate at my home. Always been pretty handy.
Yeah.
Grew up with a dad that could do anything, and the irony is, I would install a new gate at our home, and couldn't get anybody to work on it. You know, if we had a technical problem or an issue, couldn't get anybody to come out. And through trial and error, I learned how to work on them. And to this day, I'm still fascinated by the way they work and operate. And it evolved into a wonderful business that my son runs now. I've owned it for, like I said, 35 years, and I'm so busy with this second crazy career that I had to hand the reins over. And he's doing a wonderful job. He's a better technician than his dad. I've just been doing it a long time, and it's kind of like a doctor on call. And I know that this morning he had 12 calls on the books. Um, and you get a call and they say my gate won't work, or I can't get in, or I can't get out, I can't take my kids to school.
Oh,
And you can ask three questions. Well, what's this doing or that doing, or what's it? And you know before you show up the problem. So with all this ice and snow we've had to replace a lot of fuses, which is just a small, simple fix, but it's designed to protect the motor from further damage when it hits the obstruction like ice and snow. So anyway, just through necessity, I learned how to do it. And over the years, they've had training classes with different models and makes. And so I've always sit in those and tried to learn, and then just hands-on experience and 30 plus years, not much I hadn't seen or done out there. So it's been an incredible and a fun run.
that's amazing. We don't have as many gate uses out here in Hollywood area too much. You know, you got to go out down to San Diego and out there where they have more ranches and stuff. You know, so my we kind of had a ranch, a little ranch out in a town called Awanga. So we actually had one of those gates because I had horses and mules. So you know, we wanted to make sure people to get in the property when we weren't out there. So yeah, I guess as a kid, I never, you know, you'd kind of want to get on it and ride it, and you'd be, you know, your dad or uncle would be yelling at you, get off that thing, you're not supposed to be riding the gate, right? Do you have
No,
that
that's
happen too?
absolutely, yeah. Pulled up seeing kids on it, riding it, yeah. But yeah, yeah. Not much I hadn't seen on it, Judy. So anyway,
I understand you began your on-screen journey just over 5 years ago in an unexpected way. Can you tell us about that? This is so cool.
sure. It simply started with me being a regular customer at the local Tractor Supply where I still shop today,
Yep.
buying welding supplies, you know, because we weld on these gates, and buying horse feed from my horses, and just being a regular customer there and being part of their neighborhood app. They have your email and your phone number. And I got an email from an agent one day. And they said Tractor Supply would like you to be in a video, and I'm like, what the heck? Well, I learned through asking. So yeah, so I responded, and they said they interviewed me and said, yeah, you'd be great. So I did the first video. They said it was very successful. They really liked it. And what I've learned though, Judy, they like to use real customers when they can. So, and they're in most of their commercials, you'll see a lot of the people with the red jackets. They're true Tractor Supply employees. You know, they're really not actors. So to kind of summarize this thing, I did the first one, and then they said, let's try again some print ads. So they have a brand called Ridgecut. So I'll use the word model loosely, but I got to wear the Ridgecut clothes, and they liked it, and it kind of just opened up a whole new world for me. I ended up hiring an agent out of Dallas, and they specialize in modeling and print ads, and so I started doing commercials and print ads for other companies. And going backwards a little bit, that same agent that had connected me through with Tractor Supply said there's a Western in Fort Worth you really need to try to be a part of, which was 1883. So through some phone calls and reaching out, fate had played a funny hand in it. I auditioned through a casting company, and they talked to me about being Sam Elliott's stand-in. Well, I'm pretty green at yeah, and I'm a little green at this, but I said, man, I can't be off work for 5 months traveling with you guys. It sounds great, but I can't do it. And they had one deputy role left in Fort Worth, and I said, man, sign me up. Fort Worth, I'm home. Let's do it. And really didn't know who I'd be working with. Tim McGraw, Billy Bob Thornton, Sam Elliott. It just it was an amazing ride. There's one scene, and to get a featured role right off the bat, I'm just telling you, fate played a funny hand. The stars aligned, and there's one scene where Tim's getting deputized, and I'm in there. And Judy, I looked around the room, and I'm there with all the actors that we just talked about, and I had one of those aha moments, like, how in the world did I get here? And for them to accept me and treat me just as an equal, I was just overwhelmed to say the least. But that gave me a lot of momentum, let's say, and that opened the door for some local commercials, which I really enjoyed doing. And then we'll jump ship here and go back to Tractor Supply. During their commercials, Bill with Agency 86 kept mentioning, I think you need to be doing voiceover. I think you really need to be doing voiceover. So this last year, they flew me to Maine to do a national commercial, ironically, specifically for the Yellowstone series. So I'm up in Maine, and we do a commercial, Tractor Supply commercial, and they put me in the sound booth, and they liked my voice. And so when we got home, they took me to Dallas, and we did the voiceover. And from that point on, here I am doing their voiceover, which again, it opened another door. So I did a little bit for Kubota and some of their industrial ads. And to say it's been a fun run is an understatement. I've had the time of my life in my 60s. I like to call it my semi-retirement fun gig. But dadgum, it's busy, Judy. I'm busy. I've got a lot going on. I've got a full plate.
So then
I'm
you have to hire a personal assistant.
Well, my daughter just walked out the door. She came and helped me with some of the technical aspects here, and
Nice.
um, I have I've actually got a lot of really cool people in my life, friends, and Barry Rogers is the one that connected us, and
Oh, yeah, wonderful.
yeah, so he's kind of stepped in and really helped me out, and I have a lot of respect for him. He's a hard worker, and he's opened a few doors and made some introductions. Again, had it not been for him, who's now, I guess, my publicist,
Yes.
I wouldn't have met you.
Yes, he's a
So
wonderful, wonderful young man.
he's worked hard for me. He's opened the door and landed me some gigs with the Academy of Western Artists and with Bob Saul. And matter of fact, I'm booked to do a little MC work at the Lone Star Cowboy Poetry Gathering with Mr. Bob Saul the 18th through the 22nd of February down in Bastrop, Texas. Um, I'm currently filming a movie in East Texas with Chris Siegler called Anderson County, a true story about a game warden that gets killed in the line of duty, and I'm the president of the Cattlemen's Association. So a lot of fun gigs.
Yeah, so what's it like, to when you go on set, and folks, he was talking about 1883, right? That's the show that you were
Yes.
with Billy Bob and Sam and Tim McGraw. Tim McGraw, something else. What a great actor he is. So what was it
He's
like, getting in costume? Does it make you change how you walked in?
Absolutely. And they flew all of our costumes in from Hollywood. So we wore some really cool outfits. Now, it was hot. It was hot in September, very, very hot. And you know what I learned from that, Judy, it's funny you mentioned that. You know, we're all wardrobed out, these dusters and our firearms and hats and vests. And I looked at Sam and Tim and Billy Bob, and they're fighting the same fight we are. They're fighting the heat, but you know, they're true professionals and they're out there. And I'm like, golly, these guys are tough, you know, and delivering their lines and working. And it really made me admire the craft and how hard it is to really do what people think actors have got it made. Well, they work hard. They work really hard, and they endure the same hardships that we do. You know, so it was a great learning curve for me, Judy.
I'm wondering, Larry, because I hear that, I interview folks and they talk about, like doing movies, Christmas movies, and when it's hot and stuff. But in that, because you got so much gear on and these, top stars, do they put something in their hat to keep the sweat? I mean, how do you keep the sweat from coming down your face?
Well, but between takes, they wipe it off and straighten up their makeup and go again. But they sweat just like just like we do.
I know. I said, you just wonder how they keep that from happening. Sam Elliott, he's something else, isn't he?
You know, he really is. And between some of the takes that we were doing, I had the honor and the privilege of sitting on a park bench between takes for about 25 minutes
Oh,
and just talking, just he and I, nobody else, just talking one on one and sharing some stories. And, you know, he had shared that he had been doing it for well over 50 years. And I had to tell him that I was a novice, and he said, "Well, man, you're doing a great job." Said you fit the deputy role perfect, and you know to get that kind of encouragement from a living legend, you know, like Sam Elliott was priceless. And on that same vein, you know, through this wild ride, uh, 5 years ago, I met Mr. Barry Corbin. You
oh,
know,
yes, he's
he's a
something else.
legend in himself,
Yep.
and he and I do the stock show rodeo and parade every year. This matter of fact, I just did the sixth one. I do it with him and Buck Taylor, and that's how I met Barry through the stock show and rodeo. But we became friends and had spent a lot of time together. Matter of fact, we all go to dinner some. But I had the distinct honor of doing his introduction this last year into the Texas Veterans Hall of Fame, where they actually had AI going to do his introduction. And he goes, "No, fellas," he said, "Larry's going to do my introduction." They said, "Who's Larry?" He said, "I'll show you." And I mean, again, Judy, I had to pinch myself. Who in the world gets to work with a guy that's been acting for 60 years and for him to ask me to do his introduction, do a 6 minute monologue? He didn't put pressure. He was great. The internal pressure for me to try to meet those standards because I've heard he's got such an iconic voice and you know I was just so humbled that someone at his level would ask me to do that. So I just tell you it's been a fun run and I'm just having the time of my life for an old guy, you know. I really am.
Congratulations on all that. I mean, that's a lot. Barry, he's a hoot. We've had him on the show and I think he's something.
He's a character.
He'd be a great one to go to dinner with, that's for sure.
We have a great time. There's a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant in Arlington that's his favorite, and we'll go there and we'll sit in the Barry Corbin room and we just have a ball.
Mm. So you mentioned about voice acting. They actually have an award show here in Hollywood for voice actors. I mean, it's, that's a great thing that you're doing that. Do you enjoy it?
I love it. I love it. You know, I show up, and now Judy, I'm a little green at that too, and I'm being honest with you,
Yeah.
but I'm a fast learner. Um, I was fascinated that they don't send me scripts. They like my cold reads. I show up. I was there 3 days ago, and I walk in and I said, "What are we doing? You're doing two 30-second commercials and a 15-second radio spot." And so I just do cold reads and I love it. I would love to just take the script and really, but for some reason they said, "No, we like your cold reads." And so I'm just enjoying the ride.
Wow, well, that sounds really neat, because normally, you get your script so that you're a little, so yeah, I guess because your voice, you have a distinctive voice, so I could see where they just want it to be. You're coming in and just read what you see. That's pretty cool. Well, congratulations on
Thank
that
you.
as well. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
what do you like most about acting now that you've gotten bitten?
Well, I'll say, let me first off tell you what I don't like. I don't like to hurry up and wait. You know, a lot of downtime, but that's I've learned that's the nature of the beast. I guess what I like about it is just the new experience, the new people, and new locations, and
Yeah.
just the whole dynamic. People you don't realize when you're watching a movie or a TV show really what it takes to make it happen. And I'm always sitting back and seeing all the craft services and the crew and the light. It takes monumental effort to make a really short little movie. Um, I guess just meeting new people has probably been the biggest thrill of my life. And I'm sorry for my dog barking. I hear her out there. So
We
sorry.
don't hear it. We don't hear it.
Oh, good, good.
But we wouldn't mind. We'd be say, okay, bring the dog on.
Oh, she would love to be in here.
So do you, if you don't mind me asking, do you live on a ranch or just
Yes, a small ranch here in Fort Worth. Uh-huh.
very cool? So do you have critters?
I've got 3 dogs,
Oh,
3 horses,
oh,
probably 80 chickens. What else? Right now, that's kind of our wintertime group of animals.
yeah. So how many eggs do your chickens give you?
Lots, a lot of
Wow,
eggs.
good. Yeah, I remember those days growing up. My parents, we had a store when I was growing up, a market, and we also had land. So they allowed me to have critters as long as I took care of them. So I had chickens and I had turkeys, I had cattle, I had Shetland ponies and raised pigs, rabbits. I mean, so it's just a wonderful thing. I miss that so much, you like give up things because you move on and it's like, okay, I got to go back to those and having our fresh chickens and, meat that we had from our, as long as I told my parents, if it's my pet, nothing can happen to it. I understand we need to do what we need to do to eat, but if it's my pet, too bad. So I kind of we all had to learn that the hard way, as a young
Hmm.
kid. So, well, that's great. Do you have social media so our viewers can find you?
I do. The I have Facebook under Larry Wells, and then I have Instagram under Larry Wells Talent. And so you can find me on Instagram, Larry Wells Talent, or my Facebook, Larry Wells, Colleyville, Texas.
Very
And
good. So
so,
what are you working on right now? Like what's coming up?
matter of fact, I'm leaving in the morning to East Texas to work on a film that it's called Anderson County, the one we mentioned earlier,
Okay.
with Chris Stigler, and then I have one that I think Barry Corbin, and Buck Taylor are both in up in Kansas that Mr. Ken Spurgeon has written,
Mhm.
and it's called Under the Painted Sky.
Oh,
I think I get to work on that one. I know it's that one or Cowtown, one of the two he's written. I'm excited. I think we start filming in March. Those are the two that I have currently, and then like I said, I'll be in Bastrop for the Lone Star Cowboy Poetry Gathering on the middle of February. And I'll be in the studio 3 days next week with Tractor Supply at Dallas Audio Post doing more commercials.
great.
Um, got a lot going on.
Sounds good. Well, you make sure you let Barry to let us know whenever these new movies are coming up you're going to start so we can talk to you about it. We can talk to you before it happens and after it happens. Like to follow your career. It's very exciting all that I've read and because I've seen all of Taylor's shows, who hasn't, and it's like, okay, now I'm going to go back and watch again because I remember your character, so it's like, but I'm going to go see it again so I could focus more on it.
Episode 2, Hell's Half Acre.
Okay, there you go. So we'll watch that one. So yeah, we gotta get you on well, I know he's already got a lot of people on Landman, but they gotta find something for you on that
Well,
show.
I wish they would. I know that I've auditioned a couple of times for a recurring role on that. I just hadn't landed it yet, but I hadn't given up and not going to give up. Like I said, thank you for the cross fingers. We need it. It's a tough business. People don't understand. They think, oh, you just get to do it. Well, that's not the way it works. You got to earn your stripes, and it's a tough business, but it's a fun business. And somebody asked me yesterday, said, don't you wish you'd have done this in your 20s? I said, I don't know that it would have been the same in my 20s. I
Yeah,
just don't know. You know, I'm enjoying the ride now, and God had a bigger plan, I guess, and this is when He wanted me to do it, so I'm doing it now, and I'm trying to pack a whole lot in a short time.
Yep, those of us in our 60s, which I'm 65, going on 66 this year, and it's like, okay, you got to think about, you don't have to call it retirement. You just have a little bit more time to do what you want to do. I want to spend more time doing these types of interviews. I want to learn to play the guitar, and try to get back into horseback riding. So there's things. So
Awesome.
thank you for bringing that to us and letting us, all of us in our 60s, know that we can, live our dreams, you know?
Ser- Seriously, Judy, if I can do it, I mean this for the purest of heart. Anybody can do it. If you'll set your mind and your heart to it, if it's something you enjoy and you want to do, you can make it happen. You just have to put forth the effort. And the old Toby Keith song, "Don't Let the Old Man In." I wear that with a badge of honor. I mean, I'm realistic, but also it makes me keenly aware of to trying to stay fit and stay active and keep mentally and physically. And if I can just impact one person or encourage one person in their 60s to try something new or to get out of that comfort zone and maybe tackle a project that you want to do but maybe you've been hesitant to do, or take up a new career or a new hobby. I encourage you to try it.
Exactly. I mean, if you're happy in what you're doing, keep doing it. But if you're not so happy and wonder what's going on, then that's when start praying on it and look into something that you always dreamt of, because you're never too old. We're all going to live to be 100. So that's my goal for sure.
Well, that's a great goal, my friend. And I'm really appreciative that Barry made this connection, and I hope I get to visit with you again. I really do. Um,
Yeah, we'll make that happen for sure. You've been a
that would be
pleasure to
great.
have on the show. And this interview is going to go up on our YouTube channel, the Hollywood Times Official. So you'll have that if you want to share it on your socials. And we'll keep following Larry Wells for sure. We appreciate you taking the time to talk to us here at the Hollywood Times.
Judy, this has been fun. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day in your 60s to visit with another aspiring uh, second career person. But this is probably your real career. You're just getting to have fun now.
Yep, none of me just having fun. So
Oh,
we
awesome.
appreciate
Well,
it.
again, thank you. And do you have any other questions?
Unless you have some parting words for us.
Well, my parting words are: with patience and perseverance, you can do anything you set your mind to, and just try to step out of your comfort zone and do something that you think you want to try. And if it's fun, it's not work.
There you go. That's some great words for Friday, January 30th, 2026. And we got one more day left before February starts. Can you believe that?
No, I really can't.
It's just going. Well, you have a blessed day, you and your family.
Thank you so much, Judy. You too. And if you ever get to Texas, give us a call.
I sure will. That's for sure. Thank you so much.
Take care.